Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite murder mystery channel, Trails of Tales. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, and no matter what it is, I hope we're doing it safe. Keep in mind, it is Halloween season. So as discussed in my first video from yesterday, I do plan on incorporating all of our boogeymen throughout the month and all of our murder mystery tales. Now, we started out with this most recent story called Killer Dreams. Don't forget, you guys, to please drop it in the comments. I'm having a sort of a little competition going that if you recognize the story and you think the story is inspired by Freddy, Michael, Jason, Chucky, Candyman, Scream, Dream, all of them, I don't know. Just drop it in the comments so we can all discuss. Now, we're going to lead in tonight with a part 2 and possibly a part 3 because I really want to get the revealings put out for you guys for tomorrow. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy part 2 and part 3 of Killer Dreams. And as always, if you like murder mysteries, if you like my channel, if you like these tales, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. All right, let's get started. Killer Dreams, part 2. Case seekers, welcome back. If you thought last night was shivering and terrifying, well, buckle up. By now, you all know Valerie is dead. She met a gruesome end to her death. Her death also left everyone in the house panicked, confused, and trapped. For no one slept all night. The storm itself didn't sleep as it raged outside. But inside the Harvest House, something far worse was brewing. Guess, whisper, whispering theories, colliding with their fears, hanging heavy in the air. Well, tonight, we pick up exactly where we left off in terror. More bodies will fall, more nightmares, bleeding into their realities. And the next death, well, it's closer than anyone thinks. Keep your eyes open, because the horrors aren't just in the shadows, they're in the dreams. Part 2, Killer Dreams. The morning light struggled through the grimy windows of the Harvest House Inn, casting long shadows that twisted across the old wooden floors. Valerie had been found dead hours prior to. Her lifeless body still lingered in the memory of those who had seen her. Her scarf draped across the chair like a silent accusation. Nobody slept that night, not a wink. The storm outside had been deafening, but inside, the terror was even louder. Detective Andre, trench coat soaked, notebook clenched in his right hand, tried to organize the chaos of the house. Nobody leaves the main hall alone, he said, voice sharp. We stick together, no one splits off, not for anything. Guests huddled together. The varsity guy, Tyler, ran his hand through his hair nervously. Beside him, his girlfriend Lila clutched his arm. But she invited us here. Why would she do that and then go and die? Just calm down. We got this, Tyler whispered back. An older couple, Oliver and Mary, trembled near the fireplace. This isn't just a storm, Oliver muttered. Something's wrong with this house. Something's wrong with Valerie's death. Minor guests whispered in the corners, fearful, adding fragments to the mounting panic. Andre held up a hand, cutting through the whispers. Look, everyone, look. I don't have all the answers, but we gotta stay calm. We stay grouped, we watch each other's back, and that's it. Cassie Doyle scribbled feverishly in her journal, her pen scratching against the paper like a frantic heartbeat. Nightmares, knife hands, whispers, blood. I saw someone in the mirror, watching. Jalen, the mechanic, outside in a panic. rain plastered to his forehead. He crouched beside the broken, battered Ford, tools scattered about, hands trembling, freezing. He muttered under his breath, "Poor Valerie," as he began to cry. "I just need this car to start running. We need to get out before..." He didn't finish. The storm drowned his words. Marcia, appearing at the driveway of the garage, soaked to the bone. "Jalen, come inside. You look like hell." "I can't," he spat back, voice shaking. "If this car doesn't start, we're stuck. We're all trapped here." Tyler and Lila appeared and stepped out cautiously towards him, curiously and fear battling. "Well, what happened last night?" Tyler asked, glancing toward the house. "I saw Valerie," Jalen admitted, voice low. "She was dead, and now we've got to move before whoever or whatever did this comes for the rest of us." They argued quietly about what could be done. The older couple lingered nearby, trembling. "We can't just fix the car in the rain," Mary said. "It's dangerous." "I don't care," Jalen growled. "We either leave or we die in this house." Inside, Theo argued with Andre about camera footage. "Come on, man. This is gold," Theo hissed. "People would pay to see this. The way the storm is hitting right now, Valerie's death, the chaos. I can't just leave it all and let it go to waste." Andre, tightening his jaws. "You want footage? Fine. But you don't wander off alone. You stick with someone or you'll be next man." Theo waved him off with his right hand, grabbing a camera and his tripod from one of his bags. "Relax, dude. I'll be fine. Trust me." Other guests stare in amazement, almost in trauma, whispering and theorizing. "It's just a storm. Someone here knows what they're doing. We shouldn't split up." A couple of guests volunteered to go along with Theo, cautiously, yet lagging behind him. Cassie sat on the couch, scribbling away on her notebook, voice trembling, rocking back and forth with her eyes closed. Theo's footsteps echoed as he began to wander through and down the hallway with his camera. The guests that followed, they were pretty hesitant, also careful, as they looked around, waiting for any sound. The storm outside felt distant the farther Leo got down the hall, replaced by the oppressive silence of the house. Exhaustion began to weigh in on Theo. He leaned against the walls, slid down just to have a seat for a moment as he waited for the other guests to catch up with him. His body felt like a weighted blanket, but for one moment, he just needed to drop his head and rest his eyes just for a bit, not sleep. Suddenly, the room transformed. Mirrors rippled like water in a lake. Shadows stretched across the walls and curled into knife-like fingers, each tipped with steel. A red and green striped sweater appeared in the reflection, hat tipped low. The claws flexed and scraped across the walls, whispering cruelly. "Smile for me," the voice hissed, dark humor laced through every syllable, laughing. Theo's camera tripod sprouted black tendrils that coiled around his arms. Pages from the scattered journal fluttered like wings and then shredded themselves in mid-air, each paper splintering into tiny knife-like sharp shards. He screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the laughter. Knives struck him with cruel rhythm, blood splattering across mirrors and walls. The guests came running down the hall, trying to intervene, but found themselves frozen in place, witnessing a nightmare that had become a reality. Theo's body, shaking in midair, began to drop. It collapsed, lifeless. The camera stood still, recording. The final moments, caught in red-tinged shadows in flickering candlelight. Marcia, running outside in fear to tell Jalen, almost subconsciously checking on him. Jalen's hands shook as he worked on the engine. Rain stung his face. Marcia ran up, out of breath, in fog. Fog so thick it was too cold. "Jalen, are you okay?" she shouted. "Theo, he's dead." Jalen froze in fear, wrench in midair, heart hammering. "What? How? When?" Marcia shook her head. I don't know. She began to cry. "We have to stay together. Everyone stays in groups." Jalen swallowed hard, a mix of fear and exhaustion. He looked back at the car, nodding, muttering to himself, okay. "I'll finish the car and then I'll come inside," he said with fear. Back inside, Andre was barking orders. "Stay in groups. Watch your backs. Nobody goes anywhere alone." Guests huddled together. As fear grew, Tyler and Lila clung to each other, the older couple trembling by the fire. Minor guests whispered theories. "Knife hands," Cassie said, barely audible. "Blood in the mirrors. It's like the nightmares are real." Everyone, Andre said with a stern and cold voice. Valerie was first. Now Theo. "Jalen's out there trying to fix the car. We're running out of time." The storm outside roared, but inside, something worse lurked. Anticipation, fear, and the gnawing thought that the next death was only in a matter of time. Jalen outside, almost finishing the car, while his hands were raw and soaked and shaking from the cold rain. Every shadow looked like a claw. Every gust of wind whispered of the nightmare that had just claimed Theo. Inside, the guests waited, grouped, whispering, hearts pounding. Nobody knew what or who it was coming for next. The thunder began to crackle louder and louder. Case seekers. The night seems to drag on, and the house seems to hold its breath. Jalen struggles outside to finish the car, while inside, the remaining guests huddle together with heavy hearts full of fear, whispering theories and clinging to the hope that they can survive another hour. Theo's gone, Valerie's gone, and yet, the nightmare is far from over. Someone or something is watching, waiting, and ready to strike again. The terror continues to grow. Stay close, case seekers, because the Harvest House Inn will show you just how deep fear can burrow and who will live to see the dawn. Remember, even the bravest dreams can turn into the deadliest nightmares. Case seekers. Seems to be heating up. All right, guys. See you part 3. Case seekers, welcome back to your dreams. If you think this was a nightmare, well, think again. By now, you've seen bodies fall and the Harvest House Inn reveal itself as a maze of fear. Valerie, well, she was the first to die. Theo, driven by his obsession with camera footage, met a grisly end to his own nightmare. And now, the house is alive with paranoia, terror, and the shadows of the unknown. We finish up to follow the chaos as the final deaths unfold, as secrets unravel, and as suspicion sets every guest against each other. Keep your eyes and your mind open, because in this house of harvesting, no one is safe. And the killer, well, the killer is still among them. Part 3 of Killer Dreams. Chaos and fear grew like the thick fog. Jalen, absence, seemed to have disappeared in the night, opposed to finishing the car. And now, Detective Andre, pacing the hallways, trying to keep everyone calm, focused, and in a group. Tyler and Lila huddled with Marcia and Cassie near the fireplace, whispering to one another in panicked tones. "Where's Jalen?" Tyler asked. "He said he'd fix the car, and now he's gone? We haven't even seen him in the last hour." Marcia's hands trembled. "Well, I don't know. Last I saw, he was outside, muttering to himself, trying to get that car running. Maybe he's just not done yet. He'll come back soon. Don't worry," Marcia said with hope and some sadness in her voice. Andre raised a hand again. "Everyone stay calm. We need to think logically. Jalen isn't the only one at risk. Everyone needs to stay together, no exceptions." Cassie continued scribbling in that notebook. Knife hands, red and green stripes. It's like the nightmares are following us into reality. It's not just the house. It's him. Outside, the rain fell in sheets, soaking the driveway. Jalen crouched over the car, tools scattered about all around him. His hands, they were raw from the cold and the relentless effort. Come on, he muttered as he continued to turn the key into the ignition, his teeth chattering. The storm screamed in response. A shadow flickered in the corner of his vision, and he froze in suspense. Then it happened. A figure appeared in the mist, a silhouette of a clawed hand, steel fingers flexing in the rain, red and green stripes glinting. Jalen's eyes widened as the nightmare he'd only glimpsed in dreams stepped into reality. He barely had time to scream. The clawed hand slashed across the rain, and blood spattered against the tires. Jalen collapsed, soaked in his own blood, lifeless, his wrench clattering across the wet asphalt. From inside, Marcia called out, worried, "Jalen, are you?" She continued to walk as her voice in her throat ripped through the fog of the air. Back inside, Andre tried to keep the group focused. Tyler, Lila, Mary, Oliver, Cassie. They all clung together, eyes darting to the window as they watched Marcia walk fast to the garage. Every shadow suspicious. "We can't stay here," Tyler shouted. "We have to leave before it comes to get us all." Cassie shook her head. "No, we need to stay calm. We need to think. There is someone or something controlling all of these deaths. It's not just the house. It's the dreams. It's when everyone's fallen asleep. We can't just run around here blindly." Opening the door in sadness, defeat, and shook. Tears running down the face of Marcia. Quietly, "Jalen, he's outside. I just saw him in the garage. I guess he did try to fix the car. But now, as she broke down into tears, out of controllably crying. "He's gone!" She clasped her hands in her face. The older couple gasped. "He's dead? Well, how? When?" Andre's face was tense, as if he was frustrated himself. "Exactly, everyone. The question we need to answer. Everyone listen carefully. We're gonna split into pairs. Watch out for each other. Watch your every move, every shadow, every whisper. It could be a clue." Theo's nightmares seemed to echo throughout the house. Even to those who were awake, they could feel it. It was no different than Valerie's. And now, Jalen's. The wind carried whispers. Mirrors reflected more than reality. And the faint smell of iron, blood, haunted the hallways. Cassie, she was desperate for control, whispering to herself, "It's like the killer is using our fears, our dreams, our sleep to decide who lives and who dies next." Suddenly, a loud bang upstairs sent the guest in scrambling. Tyler grabbed Lila's hand. "Stay with me," he shouted as they ran. From the hallway came a slow, deliberate shuffle. A shadow crossed the walls, red and green stripes flashing, claws glinting. But when they looked closer, nobody was there. The group shivered. Roars began to come across the crowd. The nightmare had merged with reality. The line that was crossed was officially gone. Andre, trying to organize rationally, but paranoia had taken over at this point. "Who's hiding something?" he barked. "This killer, they're smart. Seems to be one of us. It seems to be one of us that's the mastermind. Now let's go, out with it. One of us brought this here." Tyler accused Marcia. "Well, it could be Marcia. I mean, after all, it is her Harvest House Inn for her shenanigans with Halloween extravaganzas. Your place of business is possessed, lady, and we're all gonna die because of you." Marcia shot back. "Me? I didn't ask for any of this. I just witnessed Jalen's death. What about you and your girlfriend? And why did Valerie invite you two anyway?" Cassie pointing trembling fingers at Oliver. "You've been suspicious this whole time, old man. You were just whispering to your wife, like you guys both know something." Oliver raised his hands in frustration. "Young lady, I'm old. I'm terrified, and I've done nothing wrong, and neither has my poor wife Mary." Voices began to overlap one another. Fear, anger, grief, suspicion, twisted in catastrophe. As the group argued, they continued in rage, the storm roaring. The final shadow moved, slipping from room to room with an eerie grace. Subtle details began to emerge for the guests. A host's motives and hidden alliances. Case seekers. The Harvest House Inn has claimed more victims. Tension crackles. Fears have collided. And the guests? Well, the guests are left with haunting questions. Who's orchestrating these nightmares? Case seekers, keep your eyes on every glance, every word, every shadow. Tune in tomorrow as answers will be revealed and the true mastermind will step up from the darkness, showing us all the horrifying truth behind these twisted, bloody games. Remember, in the house of terrors, no sleep, no dreams, no one's safe, and no guest is truly innocent.